Hello, my name is Josh, and I'm a watchaholic. Welcome to Horology Insanity. What is up, my watch friends? So, check this out. I'm wearing this Spinnaker, and y'all know that I love this watch. It's got some sentimental ties to a good buddy of mine in this hobby. He's kind of like a mentor to me in many ways, and he was able to gift this to me. But I figured out a little strap trick that I wanted to share with y'all. So I was talking to my other buddy, and he was telling me that he really dislikes it when like a clasp of a bracelet or the buckles of a watch don't sit flat on the underside of his wrist. So he's got a wrist just slightly smaller than mine, and what y'all know, like here you can see I'm on the second to last notch here, and a lot of times what happens is the band, now it's backwards, so it would be over here, but on a lot of watches it ends up being way over here on the side. And what happens is this piece right here wants to sit flat on my wrist. So when I flip my wrist around to the other side, what will have a tendency of happening is that the watch wants to sit further away from me. It almost makes it harder for me to glance at an angle. Like if it were going to sit a certain way or lean a certain way, I'd rather it lean down like this so that I can maybe see it a little bit easier. So most of us, we really want this to sit flat on our wrist right here, and then we want this to sit flat underneath it. Now, y'all know I have an 8-inch wrist, and so what I think I'm going to end up doing when it's all said and done, when I can go through all of my watches and really pare down what my keepers are going to be, which is going to be a really, really tragic day. No, I'm kidding. But it is going to be difficult for me to pick. It's going to be difficult for me to narrow down what I want to keep, what I don't. This, of course, is a keeper for life, so this one's no question whatsoever. But what I did with it was to try to get it to sit flush, and so that it doesn't jiggle around or push, outside of my wrist, I reversed this strap. So instead of putting it around here the way I normally would, I went in the other way. It does make the holes on the outside, but I kind of prefer that because when I look down at it, I kind of like to see no holes right here. The way that I do this one past NATO's, again, my wrist is so big, I have to really jack it up. The holes come all the way up here to the spring bar, and it looks weird. Like when I do that, that's what I would see, and I don't love the look of all those holes. And so this allows me to do this. It sits flush on my wrist. Now I will say it's a little weird putting this back on. I just changed this morning as I was having my coffee, and I'm still trying to get used to it. You've got to, like, I use my finger, I get it through, and then I use my index finger to kind of get it into the hole. Once it's on, though, there's no worries whatsoever. None at all. And so I'm just kind of curious. Do y'all have this? Do you notice? I'm guessing with a smaller wrist, like 6.5 is probably like a sweet spot. Y'all probably don't notice it on most straps. You probably just notice there, maybe less than that. And you probably get into the territory where you're on the other side, where you're using up all the holes, right? I'm guessing. And so, yeah, but let me know about that. And what do y'all do with bracelets? Like, I purposefully will put more links on the 12 o'clock side up here, so that when it runs the long side of my wrist, the clasp will still sit up here. So I'll have a shorter or a lesser number of links here, and then I have a longer number of links here, sometimes by 1, maybe even 2, if not 3 links, depending on how big the links are. But with that, what do you think? What do you use? I really am curious. And am I the only one that this drives bonkers? Well, I know I'm not the only one, because my buddy Craig has the same thing. And that's how we got talking about it. And that's how I thought to even do this with this strap and make this video. But who else out there? Does it feel weird? Do you notice where it'll tilt it? Are you constantly having to readjust your watch before you check the time? Because if you are, that's probably a sign of what I'm talking about right here. It's probably because the buckle and the keepers, or the clasp if it's on a bracelet, are probably not centered right here on the underside of your wrist. And so it's trying to center that, and that's going to turn the watch a certain way. So those are a couple of tips and lessons learned that I've done. I'll see how this one works out. I got to try it on other straps. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with some of these leather ones. I don't know if that would work well or not for me to reverse them. I know that in certain parts of the world, like in Japan, they wear them opposite. They wear the buckle end on the 6 o'clock side, the short side. And so in North America, or specifically in the US, I think most of Europe, we don't do that. We wear the buckle side on the 12 o'clock side. But let me know what y'all think. That's really all I wanted to do with this video. Start a conversation. We'll talk more down in the comments. Please let me know what you think down there, and I'll be down in there replying and interacting, because I'm really curious what y'all think. All right, my friends, until we talk again, please remember what really matters, and that's not watches. Keep the insanity sane.